Some Orthodox Jewish communities in New York have been the scenes of the latest coronavirus spikes. And to address those outbreaks, Governor Andrew Cuomo announced new restrictions. Many of those communities have protested those lockdowns by gathering in large groups, setting fire to their masks, and some even got violent, some of them. New York Mayor de Blasio had this to say about it.
People have and will protest, and we understand that there is a place for peaceful protest. But the NYPD will not tolerate people doing harm to others. There will be no tolerance for assaults, for damage to property, for setting fires. Anything like that is unacceptable.
Here to weigh in, Rabbi Steven Burg. He is the CEO of Aish Global. Rabbi, this seems like it's not going away. So how do we deal with it? I mean, people have the right to worship as they please in this country. The government is trying to make sure there's not a spread of coronavirus. How do we go from here? Because this seems like this started months ago and it's still going on, this conflict.
Absolutely. Look, it's interesting. The Jewish community, we're very conflicted because on the one hand, we're really one of the most peaceful communities around. You don't really see us protesting. And the violence were some rabble-rousers there, which was widely condemned by everyone in the Jewish community. On the other hand, the arrogance of the elected politicians is just off the charts. You know, we haven't gotten one apology from the mayor, one apology from the governor. The governor has talked about putting state police on every block to making sure houses of worship stay closed throughout this closure. And while we have to keep everyone safe, people in New York are scratching their heads saying the murder rate is double and triple. People are looting, people are stealing. The NYPD is being defunded by over $1 billion. And you're sending, and this is not just us, this is the Catholics are saying the same thing. You're sending the state police in to watch the synagogue. So it becomes very strange. And I have to tell you, I'm exceptionally disappointed in the elected officials, their inability to have a conversation and to talk about ways to work through it.
Yeah. You know, what's interesting to me is I know those communities are very insular. I used to live up near Muncie in Rockland County, and I know they have a large community there as well. It seems like the cases that sprout up, if you will, actually don't go beyond those communities all that much, right?
Yeah, they are insular communities. There are definitely communities, and so much amazing work has been done. And the truth is, the story that's not being told is that, you know, through March and April and May and June, they shut down everything. They shut down all the synagogues. They shut down all the schools. And they did work with the elected officials, and they were very vigilant back then. But they watched the summer of protests and riots, and no one's saying a word, and a double standard. And now that is coming out, and they're saying, well, why would we do this again? What, you know, and it's really terrible.
Do you think, Rabbi, that the communities would shut down on their own if they felt it was truly a threat to their communities?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if there were rational conversations with leadership, to say you can only have 10 worshipers in every synagogue when there's synagogues that seat 1,400 people, it doesn't make any sense. It's not logical. And that's what I think people are scratching their heads at. You know, the laws and the things that are putting out there. And again, it does not help that they specifically target the Hasidic groups. I mean, today on CNN, Governor Cuomo was asked about the fact that the Catholics are suing over this. And he said, well, it's really only the Hasidim. He just can't get away from himself. And even the Wall Street Journal, the editorial board came out and said, you have to stop treating the Hasidim like criminals. I mean, this is the Wall Street Journal. And so I think if the elected officials could have a bit of humility and to say, we blew it, we made a mistake, we targeted a community as we shouldn't have, let's talk about how to move forward, I absolutely believe they'll be able to move forward.
All right. Let's hope so, that it gets worked out. Rabbi Burg, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Bob. God bless.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.